All I have to do is launch the app using the camera built into my iOS device, barcode scan the medical device, and that can immediately pull up a checklist for that device type. In this case, the Philips IntelliVue MP60. And from there, I've got a complete checklist for that device type, and I can run those test steps from my iOS device, indicating pass or fail, and also automatically controlling the test devices. Step 1 is to confirm that it's a Philips IntelliVue. Step 2 is to do a visual inspection of the power cord and chassis. I'm going to hit pass. Step 3 is to run an auto sequence, and in this case, I'm going to hit run. It's going to automatically start my electrical safety tester, which is going to run a series of electrical safety tests for this device that can be defined by the user and or can be driven by the CMMS system, depending on how you set that up. So we're running electrical safety tests right now from our iOS device, and we're actually getting real-time measurements back via Bluetooth while those tests are occurring. So I can see it's into its normal polarity lead leakage test. Now it's doing a lead leakage ground test, and it's moving on to its applied parts test or ISO test on the ECG leads, and it's done. It finished that auto sequence electrical safety test, and it found that the results were passing based on your predetermined limits, either by the hospital policy or the CMMS system configuration. From here, I'm going to run a series of simulations that are immediately synchronized when I touch the run button on my iOS device. I've got all of these parameters immediately simulating what I predefined at the instant I get to this screen. I'm going to go ahead and start an NIBP reading on the monitor, but in the meantime, my heart rate simulation should be 180. I can see it's 180. All I have to do is tap the result box on the app, and it gives me a scroll wheel at the bottom for selecting what my result is. In this case, SpO2 75. If it's a pass, it's going to indicate a pass on the right, or I can change that to a fail. And you don't have to put a result in this box. You can just indicate pass or fail on the right hand side of that screen. So my NIBP is done. I got a 192/115, so I'm going to use my scroll wheel for indicating that exact measurement. And in the case of IBP, I'm just going to tag it as a pass. All that data gets stored into an electronic record that we are building as we go through this checklist. Next, I'm going to run a manometer mode so I can do a static accuracy test of the NIBP circuit, but I won't bore you on the video with how we get the medical device into the service mode to do that. Okay, so now we're going to go ahead and do manometer testing on the NIBP circuit on this vital signs monitor using our app. So I've already got the monitor into service mode, and I've closed the valves. From our app, we've got 3 different selections in manometer mode. We've got leak rate, pressure accuracy, and overpressure. We're going to start with a leak rate. So I'm going to inflate the system to about 240, and I can see on my app that it is tracking the pressure of the SimCube. Here's about 240. And so I can see my real-time SimCube pressure right on my iOS device, and it's going to start calculating a leak rate. So we've got now a leak rate result in this box. We've got the SimCube pressure in that box, and we've got a timer that lets us see where the time elapsed is in the leak rate testing. So we're going to let it run for 60 seconds and make sure that we're getting a passing result, and then hit the capture button. So we're at about 53 seconds now, so I'm going to go ahead and hit capture. You don't have to hit capture right at 1 minute. If it goes over 1 minute, you can hit capture and choose 30 seconds or 1 minute or 1.5 minutes, for example. We've gone over 1 minute. I'm going to hit capture. You can see here that we've got a leak rate of 8.4 at 1 minute, and you can toggle that between 1 minute and 30 seconds. I'm going to call that a pass for the purpose of this. And if I need to run a second leak rate test, there's a more button directly below that pass button. So we've done a leak rate test. We can move on to pressure accuracy. I'm going to leave the system inflated at 230 millimeters of mercury or so, and I'm going to type in the pressure seen by the vital signs monitor and hit capture. Now I've got a pressure accuracy result based on the SimCube manometer and the transducer in the NIBP circuit. On the capture screen, we're actually showing the delta as well as both the SimCube pressure and the monitor pressure. So we can see a delta of 0.6 millimeters of mercury, so those two transducers are very close, and we got a pass. Now I'm ready to do an overpressure test, so I'm going to inflate the system higher and look at my peak pressure when the vital signs monitor dumped the pressure for the overpressure limit. We can see the peak pressure was captured by the iOS device because of that real-time data coming from the SimCube via the Bluetooth communications. I hit capture. I've now got my peak pressure at 321 captured. That's a pass, and I am done. The electronic report that we just captured has a ton of detail in it that we built into that report as we went through all of those test steps. And it's worth noting that you've got everything from the technician name, the facility name, the time and date, the device type, the model and serial number of the device we tested with that barcode scan, the test equipment, model and serial number, and CAL information from the test instruments that we're communicating with via Bluetooth, the electrical safety testing in detail. We've got each test that was performed, what limit was used, and the measurement that was taken. We've got the vital sign simulations that we did and what values were used and whether it was pass-fail, as well as the measurements where they were entered, and the manometer mode test and the exact results that we got from the manometer mode. At the end there, when you reach that report, you can actually print a PM sticker tied to that testing that you just performed with a Bluetooth portable label maker directly from our app that allows you the ability to stay mobile and have all the tools you need to completely do a PM and put a sticker on a medical device that's got the detail you need, including the next inspection due date. From here you can also send that detailed report in various ways. You can print it, you can email a PDF, you can share it as a CSV, you can copy and paste it directly into another app running on the same iPad, and or you can synchronize your reports back to a CMMS database.